Hey, hello. The world's a bit shitey at the moment, do you think? So let's find some people who weren't total that can give us a little bit of inspiration and joy. And maybe a little bit of muchness. Because I feel like I need some muchness and maybe you need some muchness. Queen Elizabeth I. I mean, this is a rando place to start, but this chick had strength and resilience. Now, if you are not a history major, which is most definitely me, this is the queen that had this guy and Anne Boleyn as a mummy. So Papa is Henry VIII, and he's the one with all the wives. Like, he started out strong. He was married to Catherine of Aragon for 23 years. That was actually his brother's wife first, but whatever. He fell in spicy love with Anne Boleyn, who was Elizabeth I's mummy, and he got that 23-year marriage annulled. 5 days later, he marries Anne Boleyn, and they were married for almost 3 years. Elizabeth I was born, but then he had her head cut off so he could marry Jane Seymour, which lasted for 1 year, and then she died after childbirth. 3 years later, he marries Anne of Cleves, and that marriage is annulled 6 months later, so he could marry Catherine Howard, which he later beheaded, and then married Catherine Parr, who was married to him until he died 3 years later. So back to Elizabeth I. She was never meant to be queen. She was born to Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn, and Queen Elizabeth I came into the world under the shadow of controversy. She was declared illegitimate after her mother's execution, and she was pushed aside in the line of succession. But history had other plans. Elizabeth was apparently brilliant. She was highly educated in philosophy, language, politics. She was prepared for a future that no one believed that she would ever have. And when the crown finally came to her after the death of her sister Mary, she inherited a country on the brink of disaster, facing religious division, economic crisis, foreign threats. But against all odds, she rose to the occasion. She became one of the greatest rulers in history. Her reign was known as the Golden Age and saw English flourish in ways that no one had imagined. She defeated the Spanish Armada, a moment that cemented England's place as a dominant world power. She expanded the arts, she supported Shakespeare and the great minds of the Renaissance. And she strengthened the economy, bringing stability to a nation in turmoil. Now, obviously, none of this was easy. She faced constant threats on her life, plots, betrayals, enemies at every turn. She had immense pressure to marry.